Now, fans that either sold their tickets or whatever, all of a sudden an emphasis is starting to get thrown onto the tickets where people believe she will be playing. And that's starting to make the ticket prices go up, and up.
The comeback of Caitlin Clark is driving up ticket prices, so the Fed may want to intervene. She's hitting logo 3ES from the International Space Station, so we're talking about surge-level demand. Fans are essentially selling organs to sit courtside as TV ratings break records. Is this witchcraft or a basketball? It seems as though Taylor Swift's fanbase, LeBron's star power, and Steph's shooting range all came together to form an unstoppable force. The most outrageous aspect is that no game winner ever started this craze. She had recovered from her injury. The entire league swayed on its axis when one player took a step back on the floor.
In fact, ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs.
Basketballs aren't the only thing Caitlin Clark handles. She is appending egos, changing media narratives, and appending bank accounts. The WNBA is changing without anyone noticing. To be honest, there is a distinct boundary before and after Caitlin Clark. The cost of tickets was reasonable prior to her ascension. Her influence is now so strong that they are rapidly increasing and entering the luxury tax bracket. Both on and off the court, Clark's presence is changing the league's landscape.
Don't hate the player, hate the game she got, because she's really talented, especially for being Palangi, She's like the Stephen Curry of WNBA with the threes and stuff. Like, proven fact is, they had a game on June 7th scheduled. It was going to be Angel Reese's team, which plays for Chicago. And then for Caitlin Clark's team, they were supposed to go up there playing Chicago on June 7th. First, the ticket sales were at $76 a ticket. Then after they found out Caitlin Clark's not playing that game, she got injured, sales dropped to $25 a ticket.
The less subtle outburst from a few WNBA veterans who obviously missed the memo, however, is what's really getting heated. Perhaps don't cast shade. More money, more fans. There is more to the Caitlin Clark effect than just her dropping 30. There is a change in the atmosphere. She is more than just a player. In the league's plot, she is the primary character. The statistics don't change even when she's seated. Security, rising, ratings, flying off shelves, and merchandise. Sweating because there is more of a Taylor Swift surprise appearance at a playoff game than a basketball game going on in the building. It's a movement, not hype.
In fact, ticket sales are down 70% in many places. The Fever played the Mystics 2 nights ago. The cheapest ticket before her injury was announced was $41, okay? The cheapest one. After her injury was announced and people knew that she wasn't going to be playing, the lowest ticket price dropped to $3. $3. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. The WNBA doesn't quite realize what they have in Caitlin Clark. She is the absolute golden goose, the golden ticket. She is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They must protect her at all costs. You can argue all you want if she's the best player in the league, but you absolutely cannot argue if she's the most important, because she is. She is more valuable than all the other players combined, and that is just a fact.
Here's the twist, though. Some WNBA players appear more at ease defending a fast break while barefoot than admitting Caitlin Clark's influence. Like a tenacious point guard pursuing ESPN highlights, you would think the league would throw a lavish party for someone who is effectively putting the entire team in the national limelight. However, other athletes pretend that Caitlin showed up, took their lunch money, and seized their endorsement deals rather than embracing her impact. The league's continuous battle to completely accept this new wave of talent is highlighted by this peculiar dynamic.
The NBA is now suffering a major injury as Caitlin Clark is going to be out for 2 weeks with a quad injury. And the reason we're bringing this up specifically is the Clarkonomics effect to this. Obviously, players miss time all the time, but the Sky and the Fever were supposed to play in Chicago in about a week on June 7th. The opening ticket price was $86 because you have the Angel Reese vs. Caitlin Clark showdown that is now box office. Yeah, those tickets are now down to $25. Down to $25 after the injury announcement. And it's supposed to take place in the Bulls Arena, the United Center, as opposed to the normal Wintrust Arena. That's about a 12,000 seat difference, give or take. So
the most peculiar aspect is that Caitlin Clark's effect endures even on her evenings off. Even when she is not playing, the arena is still full. Fans seem to be gathering merely to get a sneak peek at her possible look. Who else attracts a throng like that? Not the players who share passive-aggressive Instagram posts about how they respect the vets. We understand. We honor the 2.5 million people who watch Caitlin being triple-teamed at half-court, just as much as we honor the veterans. Some players don't seem to get that Clark is their elevator rather than their rival. They are occupied with attempting to cut the cables rather than writing it. Under the surface, it's a combination of remarks about rookies having to earn it, side glances, and body language. Yes, as it seems that earning it doesn't entail being the primary reason your upcoming game being broadcast nationally for the first time in more than 10 years. In overtime, the veterans' jealousy is louder than a buzzer beater. Paradoxically, Caitlin's game isn't about demanding special treatment or engaging in diva behavior. As though her shot chart were GPS guided, she is just out there unleashing Logo 3ES. Some players, however, appear more focused on gatekeeping than on altering the game. It's an odd dynamic that emphasizes the league's continuous inability to properly accept the new players.
Support system, that shouldn't change. I think, Caitlin knows that she has the ears and eyes in the locker room, and the support that she has behind, whether it's us or anybody else. I would like to think that she knows it's there, and to really take her time and make sure that she's, well enough to be who she needs to be for us, because I want the 100% Caitlin, so I'll take it.
The media frenzy follows. Naturally, there is full-fledged analysis, experts going crazy, and camera angles that could as well be controlled by drones as soon as Clark touches the ball. Following the elusive Caitlin in her natural environment on the hardwood is a combination of National Geographic and ESPN. Casual fans are using TikTok to debate zone defenses and pick and rolls as social media metrics soar. You would assume that the publicity would excite the players. Rather, some people are sneering and saying things like, "She still needs to prove herself." Girl. In just 15 minutes, she has shown more than many teams have in 15 seasons. Caitlin's burgeoning star, meanwhile, is more than just her talent. People pretend she's going to break through the tunnel even when she's not playing. Outside arenas, scalpers are swarming like she's the main act at Coachella. Since the Obama administration, certain programs haven't received this level of interest. However, the absence of one rookie stands out more than the absence of the complete starting lineup for the home club. And resistance exists in the middle of all of this. Tweets, veiled criticism, remarks from locker rooms, and players behaving like Clark created attention. They say she's simply a newbie. However, the number of seats filled by that rookie exceeds the total of your previous 3 playoff runs.
Turns out she's human after all, Dan. She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Colts.
Unquestionably, there is a tension in the league between adoration and envy, and Caitlin Clark's ascent just makes it worse. There is a startling cognitive dissonance. Yes, we are aware that the WNBA has several famous players. If Diana Taurasi were to throw a brick wall, the wall would most likely apologize. However, Clark has a talent that extends beyond basketball. Momentum in culture. Tiger Woods and Serena Williams both did the same thing. It's that unique spark, that lightning in a Gatorade bottle, that is impossible to imitate, teach, or coach. No, she isn't flawless. Clark is prohibited. She is undressed. She flips the ball over. However, Even her errors become popular subjects. Twitter erupts when she assumes leadership. Sports talk radio debates over her hip check for days. Blogs wonder as to whether she is hurt when she scratches her nose. That's true power. It was something she earned, not something she requested. She did not simply show up. She set a movement in motion. The league would be utilizing that energy if it were wise, rather than attempting to minimize it with contemptuous news releases and coerced altercations. However, some players are attempting to make her feel inferior, as if it were an initiation ceremony. Girl, a sorority is not what this is. It's a company. Additionally, Caitlin Clark currently has the league's strongest sales pitch since its inception.
Her to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing. A beast. She is the truth. She's the truth, and she was a rookie. Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty, so sometimes she look like she's coming off for a three-point shot and she backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass, she can shoot. Man, she is
The real drama happens there. The glaring disparity in her treatment is beginning to be noticed even by WNBA fans outside the league. Is this how we handle the athlete that draws millions of spectators to the sport? Seems so. Particularly if you're still upset over not making the Nike deal shortlist. The irony is obvious. The league should find it easy to take advantage of this alley-oop. They could use the increased visibility to highlight all of the gifted players, increase jersey sales, land bigger TV deals, and usher in a new era of the sport. Rather, half of the league acts as though Clark's ascent were an invasion rather than a revolution. Every time she participates in a game or even just watches, the league gains more attention. However, some players appear to be more focused on gatekeeping than on developing legacy. The true irony is that if egos didn't attempt to play full court and push forward, this might be the league's golden period. Despite being a rookie, Caitlin Clark already has the ball, the attention of the media, and an estimated $50 million in market power around her like a pick and roll. The Caitlin Clark impact is evident whether she's drinking Gatorade on the bench or nailing three-pointers worthy of a logo. The league has the option to ride this wave or risk falling behind in the shift.
How crazy was this season versus the seasons past?
Our jersey sales were up 1,193%. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and we're thrilled about it. But it brought visibility to the whole team of the Fever and to the WNBA. But if we just want to keep it in Indiana, we look at ticket sales sold out every night, over 17,000 fans in our games at home. When Caitlin announced that she was coming out into the draft on a Thursday afternoon, from that time to Sunday night, we had over 6,000 phone calls, people wanting to buy season tickets. But even something as simple as our terrific mascot, Freddie Fever, his appearance requests went up 150% this season. So you talk about the Fever, the team, which is what we've been working on,
Let's be honest. There's more going on here than just a game as the cheers of the audience during warm-ups drown out the commotion at tip-off. A change in culture is evident. The WNBA wasn't created by Caitlin Clark alone. She merely reminded everyone of the league's potential for growth and success. And when you've been told that your agent is the only person with that type of influence, it seems like it's a difficult truth to swallow. When you think that walks could get much more bizarre, they do. The WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, is behaving as though she directly thrust the league into the public eye. She is currently presenting how I saved the WNBA PowerPoint presentations, treating Caitlin Clark as if she were a sideline intern in charge of Gatorade logistics. In the Final Four, Engelbert didn't let South Carolina score 40 points. She didn't suddenly convert casual fans into basketball aficionados, set a national retail craze, or shatter college viewership records. But now, with a press release and a vision board, she's flaunting herself as though she's the driving force behind this revolution. The Caitlin Clark effect is more than simply a team-building activity, ma'am. It's an earthquake of culture. The actual upheaval is taking place on the court while you're busy congratulating yourself. And you're quite fortunate to be clinging to the edge when it thunders.